Everything you want me to do, just jumping through this hoop, that hoop, this hoop, that hoop, blah, 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 just jumping like a little circus monkey, right? Just jump, 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 go. And never put any time into what I like to do, what I want to do. Then guess what? You got two lives. You got your life and you got mine. So I ain't even had a chance to live my own life because I'm so busy. Every time you fart, I'm right there to smell it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can't live my own life, and I'm so afraid and scared. Well, you gonna get mad if I do this? You gonna get mad? Why that individual goes and does whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, where they want to do it, at what time they want to do it. But you got to mess around and check in and clock in like you're on probation or something. You know? Right. And so and a lot of, like you say, losing your identity because that ain't love, man. That's control. That's control. Exactly. That ain't love. That ain't no relationship. That's control. And so I think a lot of times a lot of people get involved in relationships like that because they're thinking that, well, if I act this way or act this particular way or do this thing, then they're going to love me more or they're going to care about me more. Man, it's like what the Janet Jackson wrote a song a long time ago. What's love got to know? What have you done for me lately? Right? They'll love you right now, for everything you're doing. But if you're not steady jumping through that same hoop once again, it's still going to be an attitude no matter what you've done. So then now the other individual look at it like, no matter what I do, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. So then that's when the depression, I guess, and anger and resentment starts setting in. Right? When you see that individual, you look at them, look at this person that just stole my life. Look at this person that just taking my happiness away. No, they didn't take it. You gave it away.
Right. And also, that also leads to a lot of bitterness because what ends up happening is you take the male or the female. If they feeling like they've had to put their life on hold, right, and not pursue some of the things that they wanted to pursue as an individual, 5-10 years pass by and they still in that same situation, and then they still end up going their own ways. Well, the bitterness is going to be 10 times as worse because that individual going to feel like, well,
wasted time.
They wasted all this time to watch somebody else succeed in progress while they in the same situation. And this is when we end up seeing homicides because individuals feel like they was played on, right? And in most cases, individuals feel like they played on, but in most cases, if you take two individuals, man, and both of them are doing what they supposed to do as far as that commitment and that obligation is concerned. If they are doing that and things just don't work out, they could walk away and still be friends and live the rest of their life as single people, or might remarry and move on. But it's less bitterness. But the only time it really starts to get bad and when we see it get nasty, that's when somebody feel like they wasn't done right or they wasn't given enough. And this is when the calamities fall, man. So we have to be careful when it gets like that.
I encourage you, man, all the listeners right now, man, if you guys listening, hit me on the chat. Let me know you tune in. Give me your name. Give you a shout out or whatever. Live your life. You got one. There's no reset buttons at 30. No reset button at 45. You get one. You get one. Live it and live it to your best of your abilities. Even if you're in a relationship with an individual, they may not be living their best particular life. That's not your fault. That's not your fault that they're not living their life. Live yours, and maybe they'll catch up and get an understanding of how you doing, right? Don't slow down running your race because someone else didn't put in the proper training. You jumped in this thing and you said you was ready to run this race, right? So the expectation is that you've done the proper training to succeed in this race. If you don't, and if you haven't, you got to get back in the training room. You got to go get your weight up. You got to do what you need to do. But I can't stop running my race because you choose not to train, because you choose not to be prepared to run this race. Because at the end of the day, we all have a race to run. We all have a destination, and everybody not going to go with you. The person you're in a relationship with now may not be the one you with in 2019, in 2020. Right. You see what I'm saying? So you can't stop moving. You can't stop moving. Don't let anything or anyone hinder your progress in life. They may not always understand again, or may not even care about your dreams and goals and aspirations. Then you might be with the wrong person. Because if you're going to be able to encourage them and motivate them on their dreams and aspirations, and they can't do that for you, then is that a relationship? Is that someone that truly cares about you because they don't care about you being happy? Oh, the only person matters is me, right? Only person needs to be happy is me. The only person needs to feel good is me. That's selfish. That's selfish. That's control, man. So if you're in something like that, run and run now. Because the only thing, as you say, like Mr. Booker say, you're gonna end up with a bunch of resentment and anger, and nothing good can happen from that situation. Nothing good.
Most definitely. And we talked about it in other shows too. This is another factor. It's like you say, for instance, for an example, you got a family of four, the husband, a wife, and 2 kids, right? Now, our children, say if you got boys and you take somebody else that you don't even know that's got girls, if we raising our boys up to be gentlemen, right? We raising them up in the best of manners, because this is what we're trying to instill in them, right? They have to be complimented with the same type of females that's being raised. They have to be raised. That's why the old African proverb says it takes a village to raise a child, and it does, because it keeps everything on one accord, man. It keeps everything on one accord. So what fruit your son or your daughter is going to pick from. You know what I mean? But when you don't have your hands off inside of what's being planted, you don't know what you're going to get. But if you out there in that garden and you help doing everything out there in that garden, well, you know what type of fruit you're supposed to bear. And that's why it's up to everybody, to the community, man, to make sure that our children are geared in the best of ways, because that's our future. Those are our males and our females. So if we raising up the boys to be men, the ladies have to raise their daughters up to be women, because we have to complement each other. We have to do that. And I think a lot of times... Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I was just saying it goes both ways. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of times, man, what happens is we kind of caught up over here, man, in the West with the bad boy and the good girl. You know what I mean? The bad boy and the good girl. But we have to ask ourselves, like, how did it get like that? How did it get like that? Because those stereotypes sometimes, man, are what keep us stagnated. It keeps us stagnated. Look at Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, man, for those that watch the movie. It's so much we can learn from that movie. You know what I mean? Dealing with relationships and how Whitney was, she was considered this, kind of like the princess, and Bobby like the little thug figure. You know what I mean? And I watched that movie, man, and she made a statement saying that everybody was talking about her because she married the bad boy, right? And his comment was, well, they label me a thug because they look at you like a princess. You know what I mean? Both of them had valid points. So we have to ask ourselves, how did it get like that? How did it get like that? Why couldn't Bobby just be Bobby? Why couldn't Whitney just be Whitney? Two people that like each other. So sometimes we got to get away from those labels too, man. And, also too, man, before I lose my thought, in marriages, man, I'm going to say in marriages, and our relationships supposed to be geared toward a marriage anyway. So another thing is that we have to, for those that's married, if that's a holy or righteous ritual, if that's how it starts, that's how it's got to stay. You can't get up under taking these oaths, man, up under the Creator, saying that you're gonna live like this, and the day that the wedding reception is over with, you go back to your normal way of living. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have problems. You're gonna have a lot of problems. And another thing I want to say is that, like Brandon would always say, you have to establish yourself off the jump. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the men. You have to establish yourself off the jump, man, because that's what's going to fit your foundation. You have to be firm but flexible, but you got to do that off the muscle. Like, you have to do that. If you are goer, if you're the type of person that likes to go, if that's what you do, this is what you have to let it be known. And if this is accepted, well, it might be expected. If the spouse accepts it, expecting it, it comes with it. It comes with it. And a lot of times what happens is the men and the women, they put on I call it the 30-day gentleman. They put on that 30-day gentleman suit where everything is like open the door, all of this. They do all of this for 30 days. And then right where they get comfortable, they stop doing it. And then now the woman is looking at them like, well, what happened? So you can't start it like that. you're not going to keep it like that because it's gonna raise flags. It's gonna raise flags. If you didn't start out going like you wanted to, and you got them comfortable with being around you all the time, and then 6 months into it, you want to just start being gone, well, you expect an argument when you come back to the house. I mean, because it's not going to work like that because you don't give them the impression that you one way, but you ended up being another way. And this is what a compromise talks about. This is what you're talking about. We have to watch that, man, because it gets dangerous, man. And these are sensitive situations when you're dealing with people's feelings and you're dealing with their finances, man. Because you know that right there, especially dealing with our people, man. You don't mess with their money, man. Like you don't want to mess with their love life because it could end tragically. It can end tragically, man. Like it really could. So we have to be mindful of that.
Well, you don't never know the extent, right, of if someone's serious about something. They can say, okay, well, I don't like this. Well, I do like this. Well, this gets on my nerve. Well, that don't get on my nerve. You know, so it's like it may be important to you, but may just be an option to the other individual. So that's what we talk about, man, about the compromise, about the realistic versus unrealistic expectations. You know, we start talking about that. You know, again, I can't stand that. Well, that don't really bother me. You know, well, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you have to deal with that one kind of way or the other if you're gonna stay in that relationship? If you still going to be there, you have to find a way. You say, you know what to deal with this. No matter, say you firm on that and start off. I'm firm, and this is what I want. This is what I like, and this is what I want it to be. Okay, maybe that for a little while, then right back to the same old. Because we still talking about individuals. We still talking about other people, right? So just because you may be consistent doing this certain thing this certain way, that inconsistency is still going to be there with the other individual in the relationship, because again, that's not important to them. That's not a priority to them. But then they may have something that's a priority to them, to where you can be like, nah, take it and I don't take it. Nah, I take it or leave it. Right. So everyone, man, again, that's why I go back to that again. It's compromise because everyone has their own stuff that's important to them. And what's 100% number one on your list of things that's important, that may be number 30 on their list. Right. So you gotta figure out how to deal with that. So again, is it more important for me to be right, to have my way, or is it more important to be in this relationship and appreciate the other things that this relationship brings rather than, that get on my nerve? Because trust me, man, it happens. It happens to all of us, man. It happens to all of us, man. I know everybody probably in relationships at one point in time probably said, you know what, I should have stayed by myself. I should have just stayed by myself, man. You know, why did I even have to deal with this and be in the situation, whether it's the man or the woman? And then they turn around and say, you know what? My life has changed so much since you've been in it. I've grown so much. I could not see life without you. The same person, the same relationship, but just a different way of thinking, man, because that's just the ups and downs that it will bring, man. Those relationships will bring those ups and downs. So you just got to be, how am I going to deal with what I see right now? The stuff that I see, what we can often call those now what moments. How do you handle those moments? How do you deal with those moments? Because again, it can be a argument. It can be that silent standoff. Don't say nothing for 2-3 days, But again, though, that's still time wasted because you can buy a whole lot of stuff with money, but time is not one of them. Because someone failed to compromise, or again, make that quiet adjustment. I just got to be heard. What I'm saying, I just got to say what I got to say. But if you ain't seeing the results of what you're saying, do you just keep saying it? Or do you just say, you know what, screw it, doesn't matter, keep it moving? Pick your battles.
Right?
Pick your battles.
Right? And again, I would say that's why it's imperative that both individuals stay proactive. Mm-hmm. Because when they are proactive, man, and they are doing, not only are they just they going to work 8 to 5, because some people think just going to work and coming home, that's all you have to do. That's not true, because what happened is you can do that, but you'll start getting to the point to where, and a lot of people men have experienced it, and women, you get to the point where you don't want to go home. Now, when you get to the point when you don't want to go home, that's a huge problem, man, because this is when doors can open. This is when doors can open for a lot of bad stuff to happen. You know what I mean? So we have to be mindful of it, man, of allowing that other individual to pursue they personal goals that they want? Because if not, we all